Don't let anyone tell me otherwise, baby. That's right, girl. We'll be fine, whatever we'll be. You ought to know by now. But you fit to be the same no matter where we're from.
Good morning. For goodness sake, it's Trevor on a lake. For goodness sake, it's Trevor on a lake. Yeah, it's Trev and he's on a kayak. On a lake. He's on a lake. He's on a lake. You know he is. He really is. Not one of my best cover versions. However, it was real. And I am Trev. And I am going on a lake. So it was accurate. Not great, but accurate. Indeed, for goodness sake, we're on the lake. I'm at about the 1 o'clock, but I'm right against the bank. I don't do that very often. So yeah, you might be able to see the monitor lizard a bit further on there, but unlikely. So I'm going to talk about the new Beatles song and the Beatles generally. I've got two mates who love them some Beatles, and it's hard to say who love them more. There's Hirsch, who just fucking loves the Beatles, right? And he's actually a Scouser, so that gives him an edge. You know, he's a Scouser who loves the Beatles. I think it's worth points. But then there's Graham Mercer, who just, as we were growing up, was just obsessed. I mean, totally a Beatles nut. He could have been called Beatley McBeatle from Beatleshire, and people would have just gone, yeah, that's the right name for him, because he was just mad for the Beatles. And the thing is, they're loved by musicians and non-musicians, and probably for different reasons. And as a songwriter, it is a thing that you know about the Beatles, okay, that there are things that they did that people might have done before, but probably not. And their influence by doing those things remains. Everyone who tries to write a pop song, right, just, there are Beatles things. They became like a shorthand, you know, we can do that or that, and then people would reference a bit of a Beatles song or something that the Beatles did. And they're not trying to write a Beatles song, and yet there are some songs that come along where you're writing a song and you just think, oh, you know, well, it's probably better if I explain this with the guitar back in the Sala, so that's what I'll do. So let's go there and I'll try and explain what I mean. Trev's got his explaining things hat on. That means he's going to explain a thing. Okay, so what I was saying on the lake about the Beatles songs is that it's entirely possible to write a song that you're not trying to write a Beatles song. It's just a song that comes through the ether like most songs do. The muse strikes and you put some chords together and you say, oh, that's nice. You know, like this little run in A, you know. Doesn't sound Beatlesy at all. That doesn't sound Beatlesy. Oh, that's a bit Beatlesy. Oh, it's a Beatles song. But then when you do the next natural thing, which is do a major to minor, then you just go, well, I'm not going to finish this one then, because that's a Beatles song. I didn't write it, the Beatles did, it just passed through my head. I'll put some words on it. I'll just make some as I go along so you can see what I mean. If you ever change your mind, turn around and you will find me waiting. Yes, I will be waiting. See what I mean? That's a Beatles song. It's not a Beatles song. There is no Beatles song called I Will Be Waiting. Well, there might be because he wrote millions. But, you know, there isn't... That song is not a Beatles song, but it could be. If you ever change your mind, look around and you will find me. I will be waiting. And then it'll probably go outside the bird of my see you road. If you ever do that thing, back to the kayak. Okay, so I don't know how well I did there because I haven't done it yet. I'm still on the lake. I'll do my best. So, yeah, there's that's the pervasive influence of them, pretty much. So, a new Beatles song. It's one of the three that were discovered by Yoko on a cassette of John writing songs post-Beatles. So he wasn't writing them to be Beatles songs, but they are unmistakably Beatles songs. And you know, I don't know whether any of them could write anything but. And it's I love it, by the way. Let's get that out of the way. Some people are being edgy, you know, saying they don't like it. Well, they can all do one, because the effort that went into making it and the commitment of the remaining Beatles to getting it right, you just can't fault it. And technically it was made possible only in the last couple of years. So the other one that they did, Free as a Bird, and there was another one, they made a mistake because they got Jeff Lynne to produce them, and Jeff Lynne just ended up making them sound like an ELO song. And if anything, they should go back and get those other two and put them through the same process they've just done with the new one, because it is superb. And but you know, as usual, like I said, there are people being edgy, having an edgy take on it, and one of them is someone I really admire, and he worked with Bowie. It's Tony Visconti, and I follow him on Twitter, and he's a really good follow, you know, and the people he's worked with, you know, just, you know, mind-boggling. He's been an influence on music, and he says, "Oh, I hate the string arrangement," which was done by Giles Martin, George's son, which is one of the things that I loved most about it. You know, is that he's done what his dad would have done, and Tony Visconti's gone, yeah, well, you know, it's not what his dad would have done. His dad did the strings on Eleanor Rigby, and that's the greatest string arrangement ever, and they should have got me to do the strings on it. And I just thought, oh, fuck off. You know, I love you and I respect you and all the work that you've done, but you just let yourself down there, son. You know? Yes, yeah. And a few of the people that I know who love the Beatles really like that bit as well. They, in the film that the guy who made the Beatles documentary and a couple of other big films, I think he did, what's it called? You know, New Zealand Trolls and Orcs, all that malarkey. Lord of the Rings. He actually, you know, features that little string section, and it's just perfect. It's George Martin, but it's not, it's his son. And I loved it. So, yeah, so that's my take. And I hope you learned something a bit about how I feel about the Beatles and, you know, the songwriting process. There are just some songs that you can't do because Paul McCartney or John just drop them, and they've been floating around in the ether, and they occasionally come into your head and you end up playing them, but they're not yours. All right, that's it. I love you all. Thank you for indulging me today. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye.
Yeah, yeah.